Starscream back for a very soon review, actually, because I've done one yesterday. I'm doing one today as well, and this is quite an interesting character, and I've been wanting to do this one for some time, just trying to find the right opportunity to do it, and I thought, well, I had a bit of time off today, so why not? And I'll shut up for a minute and I'll start the review, I suppose. Here we go, Sideways. Now, this character is quite interesting. Needless to say, I do like his voice in the show. He's sort of like a sinister, assassin type character persona that comes across, but it's not really it, actually. Right, now, for some reason, I'll get this out the way first. He has this head, which don't quite know what to make of it, but that's never actually seen in the show. Now, it's up to you to speculate. It's not explained at all, and I've checked is everything. What the hell am I saying? I've checked all the stuff that's been written about this particular character, and there's no explanation as to why that head's there, or why it's never actually referred or used. The only thing it's used in is a bias book on the Dreamwave comics recently, but other than that, in the actual cartoon show, it's not initially explained. We take it for granted this is his head, and he has two of them. Now, it's Crosswise and Rook. Now, they're a Decepticon and an Autobot head. Now, I've showed you at the beginning, they both combine together to form the rider of the motorcycle part. But this is the Autobot one, and this is the Decepticon one. And they do have a variation of transformation. You can probably see they're slightly different. Whereas this guy flips up at the back, and the other one doesn't. But aside, I mean, you can take him as you want as a headmaster. And he plays along the sides of the Autobots and the Decepticons. Well, it seems to be he's playing for both. It's reminiscent of Double Dealer, who was the double Power Master transform, which I would like to do a review sometime if anybody's interested. But I will move along. It transpires in the show that he's trying to manipulate the Autobots and the Decepticons, because it ends up being that he's working for the Chaosbringer. Obviously Unicron, but obviously not obvious to the Decepticons or the Autobots at the time. So he manipulates them to such an extent that even he gets Starscream to take on Megatron. Now, it's pretty obvious that Starscream isn't going to beat Megatron. He's never beaten him in any single show before, and he's not about to start changing that tact. But he gets him to do it. Then he goes to the Autobots initially, before this even happens, and says that he wants to help them. And he gives them no explanation as to where he's come from, what he's doing, or what his goals are. But he just stays to the back. You don't actually see him engage any Decepticons to start with. But then he manages to lure Hotshot back into space again, and then he changes heads and suddenly just says, I was a Decepticon all the time. Like, Hotshot's really going to care at this point because he's just been caught by the Decepticons. Anywho, this is how his role plays out, and eventually he acts as the mouthpiece or the interpreter for Unicron, so that he communicates to Optimus Prime. For some reason he wants to, either dictating terms, I can't remember to be honest with you, or he's threatening them, or he just wants to tell them his fiendish diabolical plans, like all bad guys do, and he uses him as a mouthpiece because he's been working for him. But, yet again, the Minicons prevail, and Optimus Prime shoots him, and he dies. Or so we think. Now, initially, when I saw this chap come out, I thought, oh look, they brought out a yellow version of him. I've lost the other head, by the way. I can't actually remember if he had two heads, but if he did, I've only got one. So, that's a damn shame. But, no, this wasn't the predecessor. It's just a recolour for Energon. So we won't worry about that. There's a Cybertron version of Sideways, and I'm afraid I'm going to try and get him into the beginning bit because I left him out because I forgot. And you see this swivel chair here? I took photos and a bit of screenshot at the beginning of the old one, and I started swiveling around on my chair, and I suddenly realised there's a Cybertron version of this chap. Because in Armada, how this guy comes about and where he's from and why he particularly runs along the path that he's chosen as regards working for the Chaosbringer, not for the Decepticons or for the Autobots, and he has his own agenda all the time. It transpires that the Cybertron one is, he is the Sideways out of Armada, and you actually find out the storyline behind the character. Apparently he was a being on a planet called, believe it or not, Planet X. How original. Okay, he's from Planet X, and he originates there with Soundwave. Now, I'm not on about the G1 Soundwave, so don't get the two continuities confused like I initially did. I thought, what? Oh, no, it's not. It's to do with Cybertron, so discount G1, only take Cybertron as the storyline, alright? And he is one of the people who was on the Planet X, and him and Soundwave are the only two survivors of the planet. Now, what happened was, they were conquerors from this planet. There was lots of them. They were warmongers, and they used to go around destroying planets, conquering them, plundering them. You have it. They weren't nice chaps, alright? And they come across another planet, and they had the planet key. This is what they're after in Cybertron. You know, the planet keys. They're all-in-powerful Cybertronic planet keys things. I'm not going into explanation of that. For two reasons. One, I don't want to, and two, I can't remember all the ins and outs. So take it for granted, that's what they were after anyway. And this planet uses the key that they've got to enlarge themselves. This planet, I think it triples or doubles in size, and they're inhabitants of a planet called Gigantron, what is it now? I've got it written down. Genantron or something. I mispronounced it, I know I have. You get the general gist. They take on that planet, they've used the Cybertron key, they make themselves utterly huge, and the only way that this Planet X can stop them from conquering them, because they're warmongers, is they launch their secret ultimate weapon, and it blows the other planet up, but in doing so it blows them up too. And him and Soundwave are the only survivors. So this is how the Sideways comes into play. But it's not explained how he comes into Armada. He just appears one day, and he's working for Unicron. And after Optimus Prime destroys him, you think, well, that's the end of it. So then he comes back in Cybertron, and it's not explained, and it's 10 years after the events of Armada. Are you getting this? I'm not. Well, that's the best I can do, a rundown of the character. I'll give you a little bit of a show of the toy. This is the Cybertron variation. It transforms into some sort of... It looks like a hovercraft speedery thingy. You know? You can see by the front there, and he's got wings at the back. Kind of nice toy. Not a big fan of it, though, I'll be honest with you, because it's got a stupid head. Look. Looks like some sort of big bird devil thing. No, I'm not really keen on it. Actually helps out Starscream. He actually allies with him in Cybertron, but it's only because he doesn't like Megatron. But there, don't worry about it. Well, he's Galvatron at the time, isn't he? Ugh. Yeah, and I'll try and get the names right in future. I know it was Optimus Prime, and I'm sorry. And this is the actual one out of Armada, and I kind of like the toy. Makes a nice bike. Right, that's... Oh, what was I going to... There was one more thing I was going to say. No, I've forgotten. I'm terribly sorry. My mind's going. I'm not quite sure why. I think it's been gone for ages. Well, hope you liked it. That's just a little bit of a background story about Sideways, and I think it's a very good character, and I suppose you could think of him as a double headmaster, like the double power master, double dealer. Well, there you go. If you get a chance to get the toy, get it. It makes a great motorcycle. Just display it in the bike mode. The robot mode isn't great. It looks like he's got a big head. But if you can get the bike, just put it in that mode. It looks alright. Anyway, that's me. That's Starscream. Signing off. Take care. See you all out there.